Hello everyone, and welcome to another Python video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, um, but I wanted to so I had an idea. Basically on the weekends, my family and I play dominoes, and basically we record everybody's score manually on a notepad, and then after the game is over, we'd have to calculate the score for everybody using a calculator at the end. Um, this can be a little bit tedious, and there's a little bit like there's quite a room, quite some room for error to occur using this method. So I was thinking that maybe Python could help in kind of automating and tracking the scoring that's being done when you're playing a game of dominoes. So basically, um, when you play dominoes, um, if you score a multiple of five, then you get those points added. So that's kind of the goal. And depending on how many players that are in the game, there will be um, a different number of rounds that will that will be that's going to be part of the game. And depending on the number of players, there could be an even amount of, every player gets an even amount, the same amount of pieces, or depending on how many players there are, there could be one or two players that have, for example, one or two players have maybe more than one, like one more piece than the other person has. It's all based on the domino set having 55 pieces and how they get split up. So, I'll just get to it. So basically we're gonna make like a little um scoring tool that'll basically work for two to 10 players. Um and basically yeah, let's just get started. So the first thing is we're going to just write a little message here. So print just welcome, right? Welcome to the Domino scoring tool, right? So it kind of prompts the user. So the first question we're going to ask is how many players are going to be part of the game? So we're going to do num players equals input. So we're going to, prompt the user with a question. So in this case, our question is going to be how many players, right? How many players? And then put in a space, and then basically the valid response would be 2 to 10 players. Okay, and now we need to calculate how many rounds that will be played depending on how many players that, like the user enters. So we'll just create like a little um, starting value. So we'll do total rounds equals 0. And then we'll do like a match and case, right? So like instead of doing a bunch of if and else ifs, we'll do like a match and case, right? So we'll do a match on the number of players, right? The number of players, and then we're going to do case. First one will be 2. And it's important that the case that you put in is in terms of string, right? And it's not number. So whenever like a user enters um, like a response to a question, it will be in the string format. Okay, so if it's 2, the total rounds will be 27. And do 3. And this has already been determined previously, like how the math all, works out basically. It's 10 or 18. Case 4 rounds. equals 14. Six, 9, case 7, total equals 8, case 8, total rounds equals 7, and then case 9, total rounds equals 6, and then case of 10, right, we'll also do total rounds equals 6, right? And then we just need a semi or a colon here, all of these. So now we know the number of case. There's also needs to be a default case in case that like the user puts in a value other than from 2 to 10. So we can just print that there was an invalid number of players entered. Please enter 2 to 10 players, right? Okay, great. Now, after this message is printed, we don't want any of the rest of the script to run. So we can just use the quit keyword with no, basically no input parameter. Okay, great. So this is the first part. Knowing how many rounds that is going to be played. Now the second part is basically prompting the names of each of the players to kind of make it more personalized, right? So we're going to work with the numeric of the number of players. So we have to convert our string into an integer. So we do num players, we'll do int version. We'll do int, right? And we'll typecast our string, right? Now we need, basically we can create an array for all of the players' names, right? And we could do total points equals, total points will be tracking all the points for each of the players, right? So we have two separate arrays, one for the names and one for the points. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prompt the user for everybody's names, right? So we'll do a for loop for I in range. And it's important to do starting from 1, right? Player 1, not player 0. Python is 0 based. So we have to specify our range starting from 1. So 1 and then num players int plus 1. So the last one won't be included. That's exclusive, right? Then we'll name it player name equals input. We'll do enter player and then a space. Then we could do player 1, right? We want to do player 1. And then we'll do get player 1's name. Right? Okay. Now what we got to do is it kind of auto filled it here for us, right? Our player names. We have to do this player names dot append player name, right? Player names dot append what was entered, right? And to start everybody off, we'll just append total points dot append a 0 because they will, when it's initialized, everybody starts at 0. Okay, now the next part is basically we're gonna do uh, give some instructions, right? Um, in the case that how everything gets split up here. I will write in the comments of this video how, just to kind of make it a little bit simpler, um, how uh how everything gets split up. Um, depending on from if you have anywhere from 2 to 10 players, right? So we'll do match on the num players int variable. And so we'll do case 2 or 3 or 6 or 9. In this case, right, if you look at this case, um, it's an even, right? It's evenly distributed. Um, there's one double 9 piece that needs to be put down, and that's nobody's piece, right? And then all of the players will have an equal amount of pieces to play with. So like if there's 2 players, there'll be 27, 3 players, there'll be 18 for everybody. 6 players, there'll be 9 for everybody. And if there's 9 players, there'll be 6 pieces for everybody. Right? So we can do print and then find the double 9 piece and place in the center of game area. Okay. Now we have to look at all the other cases, right? So the next case would be 4, right? Then we can do a little message here. So we'll do print. So we can say here, player names at 0, right? The first player must have, in this case, it'll be 14 pieces and the double 9 piece, right? And whoever, like how the pieces get split up, player 1, whoever gets, whoever you put in as player 1's name must have the double 9 piece to put down. Okay. So there is that. Then we'll do case 5, print, and then we can kind of copy this, just copy this text here. Okay, in this case, if it's 5, it's going to be 11. And then case 6, right? Or not 6, 6 is already covered. 7, print, right? If it's 7, it'll be 8 pieces that the first person will have. And then, so we'll do case 8. Print that, and then we'll do 7. And case 10, right? Print, same thing here. And then the last one will be basically 6 pieces, right? Okay. Right, and then the last case, right? This is the default case. You need to put it in or else you'll get an error message. We're just gonna pass, right? We don't want to do anything. And ultimately it should never reach this case because we've already done some, like pre-check that there is, the value, this numerical value will be between 2 and 10. Okay, great. Now we have like all the setup work done. Now what we have to do is actually go and play the game. So, like you have to like basically the purpose of this kind of section is to prompt the user that okay, this is round 1, enter everybody's score, right? And then basically we're gonna, like keep track of all the points, right? And then at the end, And then the next one will be determining, like what is the order, right? Okay. So we do for loop for I in range length of total points, right? Oh, sorry. Not the total point. This is I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. So I'm going to do for round number. Um, round number in range 1, and then we have our variable that we defined, right? We need total rounds plus 1, right? Okay. Now what we got to do is print the round number, right? Prompt. Okay, so this is going to be round 1, for example, right? Round number, right? String round number, right? And okay, so now what we got to do is prompt everybody's name and then what score they got for that particular round, right? Round 1, okay. Um, I'm going to use some UK characters names when we do the example, the demo. So we'll just do, okay, for name index in range length of player names, right? Um, we're going to do the score, right? I'm getting a message here. No, we have to do something here like so pass, then it'll go away. Okay, so score equals input, and then we'll do enter, right? Plus player names at name index plus and their particular score, right? And then we can add to their total points as well. So total points at name index, right, is going to equal what was already there, right? Um, take what was there and add to that score. So it's an accumulator, right? Integer, we're going to do an integer value, like integer of the string, which is the score that was entered. Okay. So that is actually playing the game. So once this completes, you'll have all of the points for each player. Now, what we need to do is get this, into a form where it's easy to see who came in first, who came in second, or if there was any ties or anything like that. And so make it a little bit easier, right? So now what we're going to do is well, we have to loop through our um have to loop through all of the points array, right? And we have to define a dictionary. Basically, the dictionary will make it so that we don't have any duplicates. The dictionary in this case will have the score of the player and then as the key, and the value will be the name of the player. And in the case that there's a tie, there'll be an there'll be a condition for that. Um, that basically you want to add two names, two, three, four, however many ties there are, link it to that point total, right? So we'll do if total points at I, right? That particular point total is not in the dictionary, right? Um, yep, right? And then we're going to add to the dictionary order points at total points at I is going to be at the same index of the player names, right? Player names at the same index, right? Or, if that's not the case, right? If it's already in there, we're going to just add the name to the total points. So this is our tie case. We'll add to it, right? With a comma and player names. I. Okay, now you've basically ordered all, you have, it's not really ordered at this point. You have all the points and who, who scored that many points and if there was any ties or anything like that. Now, there is a way in Python where you can easily, your sort your dictionary key values. Um, and it's a little, yeah, it's just kind of knowing the, notation that you need to use. So basically, you're just going to print sorted, call sorted on your dictionary, order points dot items, and then we'll do this reverse equals true. This reverse equals true makes it so that um there is something here. Um Go ahead and save this. The reverse is true, it puts it in descending order, all of the values. Since our key values are all numerical, if you didn't have this reverse equals true and just left it, like order points dot items, everything will be in ascending order. Um, okay, so now we basically coded up how to do it, how to play our, like how to run through a game of dominoes. Okay, so now we can do work on our demo. So I'm gonna just do Control R. Okay, so welcome to the domino scoring tool. We get that message. How many players? We'll do 5 in this case. So we'll do 5. Enter player 1 name. We'll do Wallace, Gromit, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Okay, so now it says Wallace must have 11 pieces and the double 9 piece, right? So now I'm just gonna go through the game and basically just put in some dummy values in order to get, like get to the end and see, like who won, basically. I will try, I will try to just make it as, random as possible, just kind of simulating the game. So Wallace is going to start and he puts the double 9 piece. So there's no way that he can earn points on his first round. So he's going to have a 0 there. So I'm just going to go in and add, like points as it seems like, So we'll put in 20 for Gromit, 15, 15, 0, 25, 25, 0, 15, 20, 20, 20, 0, 30, 30, 20, 25, 25, 25, 30, 35, 35, 40, 0, 45, 55, 0, 60, 60, 0, 65, 70, 70, 0, 75, 75, 0, 0, 0, 80, 80, 80, 0, 75, 65, 0, 70, 65, 75, 0. This is the last round. 80, 85, 90, 100, and let's put in 105 at the end. Okay, so these, now we've entered all of the scores for every player in each round, right? So now if we do enter, yep, now we have our scoring, right? So basically, it'll give the value, right? 455, Wallace, first place, second place, third place, fourth place, and last, fifth place. 365 for Harry. Yeah, so in this case, there were no ties, and I was kind of doing numbers randomly. So I didn't expect there to be any ties. It would just kind of be, that would be kind of a rare occurrence, but um, yep. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and it was helpful. Um, it's kind of just, like being able to automate, um, all of the scoring that goes into playing a game of dominoes and eliminating any kind of error that could occur in manually writing down everybody's score. And it's important to note that before you enter the score in, you have to kind of be certain that that score is solid, right? The person is not gonna, switch out their piece to get more points or something like that. Because there's no back feature incorporated in this. Um, so I mean, there could be another check, right? So like once you put in the score, there could be something like, are you sure, right? Are you sure, yes or no, right? Then you'll have some, time to, like in the case that there was more points, you can add in the points with the second prompt. Um, so yep, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great week ahead, and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.